Good morning guys, and welcome back to this week's video. Now you will notice during this video that the weather might change a few times, because yesterday I was here for a few hours and a lot of the clips that I recorded, my microphone failed and there was no audio. So I did have to do a lot of voiceovers during this video, so hopefully that is not too distracting. But yeah, I'm here today again just to go over a few things that I did yesterday and hopefully take a few jobs off for January that I've been holding off. So let's get some stuff done. So one other thing I've noticed is that obviously last year I had a kind of line of chives planted in the ground here. Now this was from seed last year, minus the grass, but it actually looks like I do have all of it growing back and hopefully a lot stronger this year. Hopefully I will get some flowers from this and be able to kind of harvest this throughout the year. First job of the day is to tie up my raspberry canes. Now these were given to me by a plot neighbour mid last year, so they were just kind of small little sticks in the ground, but they grew really well. I did have some fruit on this, but I don't know what sort of raspberry cane it is. So I don't know whether it's an autumn fruiting raspberry cane or a winter fruiting raspberry cane, or whether it grows on old or new growth. So my plan, I thought, was to leave it this year and not cut it back, and hopefully within this year when it's growing I can then see if I get fruit, whether it's on the old or the new growth, and then end of the year I can then prune it, correctly how it should be pruned. So plan is I brought these two kind of posts with some spikes on the end. I'm literally just going to dig them in, one either side, one there. Kind of got some of these kind of screw in like eyes, which then I will attach some of the green wire to. That's the plan. If that doesn't work, and if I can't get this wire to, get taut enough, I'll probably just put a wooden trellis across it, because I do have a couple in my polytunnel. So for now I'm just going to literally get these in the ground, get these screwed in, and we'll see if my wire will work. As you can see, my microphone's kind of given up on me and I have no audio for the next few clips, but I'll make it work and I'll just let you know what I'm doing. So for this scene, all I was doing was scoring lines across the wood in different intervals. Obviously I wanted them to match on both sides, so when I did put the post in the ground and screwed in the eyes, they would at least be at some sort of the same level. Obviously I'm using a screw for this, as I do not own a pen on my allotment, so this was just a quick easy way of getting those lines pretty much at the same distance apart. So at this point I am just obviously putting the marks at the front and hammering these posts in. They don't need to go too deep because I'm not actually going to be attaching my raspberry canes to this. This is just going to be a support for the branches, just to keep it from spreading all over the path. This is me just putting the screws in place. I'm just winding these in by hand. They don't need to go all the way in because I plan on
tightening them as soon as I put the wire through the holes. Now, I do apologize for there being no audio, but these things happen, and at least I can give you some sort of, voiceover to let you know what I'm still doing. And these were very tricky to get in. As soon as they went in about half an inch, they became quite tough. So you can see I'm just using another screw to help me just tighten them a bit more. So as you can see, I have got them all in place. They're screwed in about halfway. So the plan is to tighten these up anyway. I did want the rings facing the same direction, so when I did weave the wire in and out, it was going to kind of go through as smoothly as possible. So this is just going to be containing the raspberries rather than giving it actual structure. I just don't want it spilling over the path. I also noticed while I was there that I've got a lot of new shoots growing from the base of each plant. Now, I'm still unsure whether I'm going to get fruit from this or from the old stems. So the plan is just to let it do its thing this year, and hopefully mid-year I can kind of assess it and see where we're at.
So now comes the wire. So I did attempt to attach this to the top, but then I quite quickly realized that I really should have just gone from the bottom because I need to weave it through the holes first. This was not an easy job. The wire kept getting tangled up. The wire doesn't bend very easily, so I had to kind of unravel it so I could just smoothly pull it through the loops. But yeah, this took a while. So here I am just tightening up the wires now. I'm just using a screwdriver in the loops and trapping the wire. So the more I turn and tighten the screw, the wire became kind of rigid and less loose. I did realize pretty quick that the more I tightened the wires, the supports on either side were being pulled inwards. So I did decide to put a cross brace across the top just to stop it from doing that. And it just gave everything a little bit more kind of structure. So I did find a piece of wood that was spare that fit quite nicely. So I just cut off the end so that it would fit and I could just screw it in place. So now I just went through from the top and tightened every screw just to make sure the wire was as tight as I needed it to be and that it wasn't going to snap. So there you have it, one raspberry cane support, and hopefully it's going to stop those branches from going all over the path. So another thing I wanted to go through today was my archways. Now, I've been reading your comments and I agree that when everything has started to grow, am I going to be able to walk through it? I'm unsure. Now, this bed is full of the clover and my chard, so for now this is going to remain as it is. So I will possibly have a smaller archway here unless I decide to get rid of this. With these, I do want to kind of flip them on their other angle, and hopefully that will give me a bigger path to just make a bigger archway. I think that will fix the problem. I just need to make sure that I'm going to have enough room in between both of the beds, which I think I will. If not, it's not going to be a problem walking around. And then just see if I can get away with, making bigger archways. Luckily, I didn't cut away the membrane yet because of exactly this. I didn't want to do any of this until I was 100% sure with what I was going to do. So I will turn these beds and then obviously we'll see, the kind of area that I'm working with. So I think that is going to work actually. I do have a very narrow gap here, but with these beds being so small, I'm going to have no trouble weeding and stuff anyway. Obviously this one, once empty, I think I will turn it on its side. With them move round, it's going to give me a better width for my archway, and actually I'm going to be able to walk through without fighting with all the foliage. A lot of great comments in that video, and I do appreciate every single one, and I am replying to everyone. So yeah, thanks for all the advice. This is my largest bed, and it's going to be my potato bed. Now, I've been collecting some cardboard, and apart from the labels that I'm going to peel off, I should have enough now to line the bottom of this. After I've got a lot of my kind of rotted waste from last year, I'm going to line the bottom of this and hopefully kind of minimize how much soil I need to pay to get in this. I'm just going to fill it up with the leftover soil in the white bag. Again, give me some space to walk through the plot again, and then I can judge at the end how much soil I'm going to need. So for now, I'm going to get this kind of filled up and looking a bit more like a bed. I am going to go through and remove any of these metal pegs that are holding the membrane down. I don't think there's a lot in this bed anyway. I think maybe just two or three. Yeah, that's it. So with this weed membrane, I do want to kind of save the edges to tack to the edge, just to give a little bit of a barrier between the soil and the wood. Maybe it will extend the life of this bed. I'm going to get cutting and get it filled. And hopefully, with having this covered for the past few months, any weeds or like existing seeds that have been in this mud from the previous plot have died and hopefully won't come back. Well, that's the plan anyway. So that's the first layer of cardboard down. I'm just going to get some of my rotted stuff from the compost bin. Excuse the wind. And yeah, get some of that in here first. Spread it out and then fill it with the remaining of my soil. First, I need a coffee, I think. I've literally just done a very small layer. It's enough to give the bottom a little bit of goodness. And as you can see, it's just last year's kind of cuttings, all of my dead, and it is actually breaking down quite nice. Now, I'm no compost expert, as this is the first year of me doing compost for myself, but you can see it's literally just all my old stuff. And to be honest, this is quite a deep compost bin and it is full. Now, everything that I've put in this is just been from the original plot over there, and it actually looks like it's doing what it's meant to be doing. Now, this has been turned, it has been dug in, I have watered it over the warmer months, and it is, if I can find him again, full of worms, which is a good sign. So I'm possibly going to leave this for the rest of this year, let it do its thing. I do want to kind of get all of this out into my new bed, compost bin over here, and then I can use this for all the fresh stuff from the plot this year. But yeah, for now, I'm quite pleased with how this is looking. Now, this is quite deep and it actually looks quite usable already. Good stuff. If I do get filling that bed, I do have leftover carrots from this year, which I believe are going over. So I'm going to just tip that into here, harvest whatever is good that I can still use, and then it free up this bag ready for some more carrots this year. Not bad. Definitely some nice usable carrots in there still. Yeah. So you can see that from that one small bag over there, I have pretty much, I'd say, half filled this bed. Now, yes, I did put some of my, unrotted stuff in the base, and this is going to be a no dig plot on all of my beds. So there will be a layer of cardboard, which you see me put down, and then I will build up from that. I do not want to disturb, the soil underneath too much. When I was digging out my pond, I did find that a lot of this soil on this side of the plot, especially, not so much over there, weirdly, but yeah, this plot is really clayey, really kind of, you know, wet, yeah, tough soil. So I think for this side of the plot, a no dig approach will be the best way going forward. It also gives me kind of best of both. My original plot is, everything is in the ground and I plant into the ground. And I had a lot of success with this plot last year. Everything just grew really well. So this plot, with it all being a no dig and mostly in raised beds, it will be a nice kind of contrast to see which one does better and what kind of method I prefer. It's also nice to see that my lasagna planting is kind of growing well. Everything seems to be growing and poking up now, so fingers crossed we have a nice little display here which I can then move around the plot wherever I want them to go. Now I know January is a time of year for most of us where everything is wet and miserable and tired looking, but it is so nice to really see you know so much life and so much like growth already like starting to happen. Now obviously I've spent the past few months digging in spring bulbs. I've got plants and shrubs and flowers and things kind of all over the plot, especially at the back here and around my pond, and especially kind of underneath my trees. I do have a lot of spring bulbs and stuff growing, and it's just really nice to see like everything is starting to kick in. And yeah, you can just start to imagine now of how well and how full it's going to actually look. Give it just 2 3 months. Yeah, definitely excited to see like all the hard work that I've put in over these cold months, to see all pay off and just look amazing. It kind of gives us something to kind of work towards over these cold months, especially when you get to sit down on a bench or just potter around in your beds and really enjoy what you're doing. So again, I apologise for the audio malfunction, but it is what it is. It happens. So yeah, thank you for watching today's video. I have recently just joined the YouTube partnership program, so that's exciting for me. And now there is a new function where you can hype my videos. So if you are enjoying my videos and follow along, I would appreciate if you hyped each video. Give me a subscribe, give me a like, and it just shows that you're enjoying what I'm doing. And it also gives me the incentive to, work harder, make my videos better for everyone watching at home. So thank you for watching, and I hope you're having a great January, and I will see you in the next one.